Hey guys, I just had this crazy moment. I had this struck by lightning feeling, and I realized for all of my talk about how much I love Nesbo, I have not yet done kind of a beginner's guide to his books. So I'm going to do that tonight, so pull up a chair. And just to preface this, I will be posting this video on my blog, and I'm also going to be writing up a more extensive overview, which will be up on my blog as well. I'm not sure how long that's going to take me to write. I'll hopefully have it up tomorrow or the day after. Okay, let's dive in, guys. So we're going to start with the book series that is undoubtedly Nesbo's most famous creation, and it is the Harry Hole series. And I promise that's not actually how it's pronounced in Norwegian, but I'm not going to try that pronunciation. The Harry Hole series is a Norwegian crime series. It currently has 10 installments, and the 11th installment will be coming out this spring. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. It's called The Thirst. It comes out in May, and I seriously cannot contain myself. So this series obviously features Harry. He is a police officer working in Oslo, Norway, and Harry is honestly my favorite protagonist in all of crime fiction. He's totally compelling and damaged and burdened and also totally lovable. Now, this is not book one in the series. Do not mistake that. So the reason I'm showing you this book is because it's my personal favorite in the series. It's book 7, and it's also being made into a movie starring Michael Fassbender this fall. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, the other reason I'm showing you this book and not book 1 in the series is because my younger brother borrowed it from me and has yet to return it. So, Josh, if you're listening to this, I really want my book back. So if you're interested in starting the Harry Hole series, I recommend doing it one of two ways. Option 1, start with the snowman, see if the series is for you, and then you can always go back and start from the beginning later. Option 2 is a little weird, so listen closely. I also recommend starting with book 3, The Redbreast, and working your way through the series from there. Books 1 and 2 are a lot slower, and honestly, I don't think you need them at all. And you can always go back and read books 1 and 2 once you've worked your way through the whole series. I just don't think they give you an accurate sense of how amazing the rest of the series is. So option 2 is start with book 3 and go from there. Okay, so yes, I am moderately, if not very obsessed with the Harry Hole series, and if you have questions about this series, please DM me. I will be more than happy to answer them. Now we're going to move on to Nesbo's standalone books. Okay guys, I'm going to go through these standalones pretty quickly in the order in which I read them. So first up is Headhunters. This little book is about a man who is a corporate headhunter, and he also dabbles in art theft. Now, obviously, Nesbo is my man. He is my favorite author, and he can really do no wrong, but I have to admit this is probably my least favorite of his books. I don't think this is a must-read. It's more of a, if you've already read his other books, then read this one. Okay, next we have The Sun, and I have to say I love how this book's packaging is totally different from the other books. Anyway, this book essentially follows a young man whose dad was accused of being a corrupt cop and took his own life, and now this young man is going to make his escape from prison, and he's going to hunt down people who have committed crimes against him. But are the cops going to get him first, or are the criminals going to get him first? As it turns out, I'm kind of going in reverse order of my recommendation. I liked this one better than Headhunters, but not as much as the books I'm about to show you. Okay guys, we are on to our last little section here, and this is, well, they're not really a series, but they're two connected novels, if that makes any sense, and it's Blood on Snow and Midnight Sun. These books are totally unlike Nesbo's previous books. As you can probably tell from the descriptions I just gave, Nesbo's other books are very much violent and gritty, and they tend to deal with things like corruption or kind of cat and mouse, cop and killer. And these books deal with similar themes actually, but they do it in a totally different way. So Blood on Snow is the first book, Midnight Sun is the second. They both deal with people who are fixers for crime bosses. So by a fixer, I mean essentially a hitman, someone who the crime boss can rely on to eliminate any of his enemies. So in both of these stories, our fixer, our main character, basically decides he's had enough of this violent, horrible life, and he goes on the run, and he's chased down by the crime boss's men who aren't going to let him get away that easily. But simplifying these books down to their plot just does not capture what I love about them so much. What I love about these books is that yes, they have all the makings of a great thriller, but they're actually very poignant and emotional and very hopeful stories. So these two books are not going to be for everyone, and I totally get that. These books are slower paced, they're more brooding, they're more introspective, but I love them because, first of all, they're great reads, but they also show Nesbo's depth and his range as a writer. Okay, you guys, that is it for me tonight. I'm so excited to share all these books with you. I hope this was helpful to hear kind of how the books fit together, which are standalones, which I recommend. If you have any questions at all, please DM me. Okay, I lied. I'm actually never going to be done talking about Nesbo because that's how amazing he is. But I want to remind you guys, his newest Terry Hole book, The Thirst, comes out this May. So mark your calendars because I'm going to have a lot of cool stuff going on for it. Last but not least, if you listened all the way through this entire Instagram story, I am seriously so impressed with you. You are amazing, and thank you so much for listening.